Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And this week, we are going to be discussing Bruno Fernandes and how Al Hilal, Matheus Cunha, here we go, and welcome to Manchester United, and a couple of little tidbits that we need to discuss about the future of our club and moving forward. Let's get into it. I don't want to waste your time. Right. Bruno Fernandes, Al Hilal. Al Hilal are reportedly willing to pay what it takes. It doesn't matter. They're willing to break the bank. They're willing to break the British transfer record to get Bruno Fernandes into their books. Woo! And what are they willing to pay? They're willing to pay over 100 million. Over 100 million. Now, Manchester United have got a big decision to make. Manchester United and Bruno. They have a huge decision to make. One, Manchester United, because we just lost the Europa final, meaning that we didn't qualify for Champions League and we missed out on the 100 million payout that the Champions League, that UEFA gives players for qualifying. So we've missed that. And because we've missed that, we've now had an opportunity. Well, because we've missed that, it now means that we were going to have to sell players. We were going to have to negotiate frugally. Like, these guys are going to have to dig deep in order for us to get players in. Now, Ruben Amorim, as you know, he needs a big summer. He needs a big transfer window. This is his first time taking over. It makes no sense that Manchester United won't give him the money. Unfortunately for us, our club is broke. Our club is on the verge of, I don't know, based on their actions and everything that they're doing, it almost seems like our club is on the verge of bankruptcy. There's no money. Just before or after the UEFA final, or the next day, they sacked another 200 people. There is no money. They are trying to look for money wherever, in between couches, under the carpet, behind the fridge. Like, they are looking for money wherever they could find that money. And then Al Hilal just comes in here and just says, listen, man, we've been wanting Bruno Fernandes now for 2 seasons, or a season and a half. The first time we came there, Bruno Fernandes wanted to see whether or not the club was ambitious enough to meet his expectations. Remember the time when Bruno Fernandes wanted to quit or wanted to leave the club, when he kept saying, look, if the club is, if they have got no use for me anymore, it's cool. I can part ways. No hard feelings, nothing. Like, if the club were willing to keep him, like, he was cool either way. He could go, he could stay. And it was a very tricky time for us, because at the same time, Erik ten Hag was also under scrutiny. We were wondering whether or not he was going to have his job. There was just so much that was going on at the time. Fortunately for us, Bruno decided to stay. He signed a new contract, salary bump. He moved from 250 to 300, or 200 to 350, whichever. But he got a pay increase. But again, the season came. We had a dismal season. They sacked Erik ten Hag. Everything went to shit. And they brought in Ruben Amorim. And that is where we began our journey. So now, at the time when Al Hilal wanted Bruno, they were waiting to see whether or not Manchester United were going to increase his salary so that they could match it. They were always trying to match the salary that Manchester United were going to do. And then, yeah, Manchester United did give Bruno that bump, and they were like, cool. But then they looked at that increase and they were like, wait a minute, we can offer more. Like, we can literally give this guy more if we want to get him in. So let's keep on pushing. They focused on that, and they came back. And this time they came back hard, and they came back strong. And these guys are not messing about. These guys want Bruno. They want Bruno. Once they get Bruno, then everybody else, every other player that they're wanting to sell, I think, will fall into line. But Bruno is their primary target. Remember when Bruno was our primary target? Remember when who was once our primary target? It's actually crazy to think back and think about like a player. I don't want to say Euro was a priority target because we actually went out and duked it out with Real Madrid. So I don't categorize Euro as that. But yeah, if there's any player that you can think about that like within those parameters, please leave a comment and we'll discuss it further. And so Al Hilal gave Bruno 72 hours. They kept giving him time to make up his mind because these guys are not mucking about. They want to get a decision ready, or they want to get, because they want to make sure that by the 10th, all their players are ready and signed so that they can move forward and prepare for the Club World Cup. They want Bruno to feature. They want him to be part of their preseason or whatever preparations. They don't want to get him in later. Then there's just all this. Then Bruno has to come and acclimatize and blah, blah, blah. They want to get him immediately. Now, where does this leave us, Manchester United fans, and Bruno Fernandes, and the future of our club? Well, we've been speculating. We've been sitting here thinking, what should Bruno do? Should Bruno go? Should Bruno stay? Because there's just so many factors in this thing. His age, the amount of money that is being spouted, Saudi Arabia, Premier League, Ruben, there's just so much. And apparently, Inter's coach, Inzaghi, apparently he's waiting for news as well from Al Hilal, because I don't know if he's waiting for news or they're waiting to sign him, one of the two. But he's been touted like he's going there as well to be their next coach. So there's so much going on at the moment with Al Hilal. And Manchester United, what's happening with us and what's going on with this Bruno Fernandes story? Honestly, I don't know. What do you think we need to do about this? I honestly, I've been contemplating this. I've been thinking about this, and I think it has taken me over a week. Like, since that final, it has taken me so long to digest the information and be comfortable with what is about to come. You understand? You see, like the final, I had prepared myself. I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to, I knew what was going to happen. It's a lie. I'm not going to sit here and think that we're going to lose. But I knew playing against the Premier League team, it might just be a bit of an issue. And there we go. Now it's the same thing with Bruno Fernandes. What are the pros and cons of Bruno leaving and staying? For him leaving, the pros are we get over 100 million, which is I hope they break the British transfer. I really do. 120, 125, 130. That's the amount of money. Like, if you really want this Bruno and you're saying that you're going to break the bank, I'm just putting 130. Like, when we're talking about breaking it, let's make a statement. 130, take it or leave it. I know they're not going to leave it, and I know they're going to range between 100 and 120. But I'm just saying, if these guys are there willing to pay this, like really overpay, then why don't we just go with the maximum once? Because at the end of the day, that money that we're going to get from that Bruno Fernandes sale is going to help the club. It's going to go a long way. We are going to be able to get in another striker, another number 10, maybe 2 midfielders, an extra center back, maybe another wing back. I don't know what the situation, I'm not particularly sure. But a new number 10 can come in, a striker can come in, and a midfielder. Those are 3 positions that we need to bolster. And then maybe add some defenders, because we've got Lindelof leaving, Johnny Evans leaving. So we've got defenders that we need to bring in. We've got youngsters, yes, but are they ready? Are they ready to take us to the next step? I don't think so. They can come in and do a job, but we need to now start focusing, because next season is a different season for us. There's nothing like Europe. There's nothing like we are playing for the Premier League, FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. Nothing else. We are playing for Champions League spots for the next coming season as well. So everything that we do in the Premier League season is going to be heavily scrutinized. So we need to get all the players in. All the players that we need all the players Ruben Amorim needs need to be in. They need to be in. It makes absolute no sense that we don't get that. Now, if we don't sell Bruno Fernandes, we are going to have to sell to buy. And already we are struggling with certain players, with valuing certain players. I read something yesterday that Garnacho, they value him at around 40, or they're willing to sell him about 40, 45. And I'm like, what? And immediately when I saw that, remember I was the guy that was like, look, get Garnacho off, send him away. I don't like his behavior. I still agree. I still stick to that. I do not want players that have got an attitude that just stinks. We are tired of that. We are tired of being in the tabloids and the pundits and the social media because a player has done something. And you know what's crazy about this whole situation? Other players, when people do it, people will complain. They'll say, it's out of line, this. But Manchester United players, people always feel sorry for them. People always be like, nah, you shouldn't, in a weird way. And I always feel like they are bantering us. They want us to keep players that we can let go. We can't let go of these players. We need to stop holding players. We need to stop holding on to players who are not giving their maximum. I'm not saying that Garnacho doesn't give his maximum, but you understand what I mean. So Garnacho 40 mil, and I'm like, what? I thought Garnacho, the starting price was 60. Because this kid is up and coming. This kid has got a bright future ahead of him. Now, if we sell him for that amount, that is taking a piss. And that I do not agree. I do not agree with that. Do I have the power to say anything about it? No. I can voice my opinion and say, like, look, Garnacho is a rascal. What he did in the final and blah, blah, blah. And the news that we got, Ruben Amorim telling him that, look, find another club, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But if you're going to sell him for 40, then what is the point? What is the point? We need to build a war chest for Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim needs to go into this transfer market, which is already open, by the way. It's going to open, then it's going to close, then it's going to open, some weird shit. But it's open. We need to start getting in our players in, getting ready for preseason, because the preseason is going to be one of the most important preseasons to date. Forget the Erik ten Hag, like what I complained about, Erik ten Hag's reign coming into this team, the preseason, the way our seasons have all been destroyed because of our preseasons. Our preseasons have not been good. Our preseasons, it's either we are still linked with the player, some of the players are in, some players are injured, some players they're injured, but they could feature. It's just like comme ci, comme ça, to the point where when they do play or they do train, they get injured, then they're out, then it's like preseason gone. So there's just been so much drama when it comes to preseason. We need to nail our preseason this season. We need to get everything on point. Before the Prem, before everything kicks off, even before the Community Shield. We need to be looking at our team and going like, yes, we've got Cunha there, we've got Mbuemo there, we've got who there, we've got who there, we've got we've got all that stuff. Now, those are the pros and the cons. Now, you need to understand that this deal is unlike any other deal that you're ever gonna come across, ever. Because Bruno turns 31 in September, and correct me if I'm wrong and leave a comment down below. Has there ever been a 30-year-old that has gone for 100 million? Has there? I will wait. I will absolutely wait, and I will wait to see what your comments, because I don't remember. Even when I try and think back, I cannot remember any player that was 31 because 30 is considered the decline. It's considered you're old. Now, if you're going 31, 32, 33, you're just considered a relic. You're not a dinosaur in the football world. So for Bruno to go for this amount of money is just something that, wow, it shows, it gives testament to Bruno himself, the kind of player that he is, the quality that he is, what Saudi Arabia and Al Hilal, what those people there are thinking about Bruno. They believe that this player, his caliber, his quality are going to change their fortunes. Now, Al Hilal didn't win the league this season. I think it was Al Ittihad, Benzema and N'Golo Kante's team. Al Nassr, nowhere near. So, and before that, Al Hilal were the champions. I'm not sure if they were the Champions League champions, but they were the champions of Saudi Arabia. They were buzzing, everything was good. And I think this season they had a bad season. To the point where they are like literally, they're stalking us with Bruno. Like Al Hilal is stalking us with Bruno. They are not letting up. So they want him. So what's the development? What has been the development thus far? The development is like this. Bruno's agent has traveled to Saudi Arabia to discuss with those guys potential move. Al Hilal have come out and said that they believe that they are coming close to an agreement with Bruno Fernandes. They've given him 72 hours. I think those 72 hours have elapsed. It is now at the moment where now like they're like, look, Bruno, we really want to move forward with this and we need your answer. We need to sign our players before the 10th and make sure that everything is in line. So we need you. What's Bruno's take? Bruno has to go and discuss with his family whether he wants to move to Saudi Arabia or not. He needs to discuss with Ruben Amorim. He needs to discuss with Manchester United. What's Manchester United's stance? The Ruben Amorim stance is Bruno is important for us. You see it in the way he plays, the intensity, his passion. He is important for the club. So Ruben is begging or wants Bruno to stay. But if you read in between the line and if you've been in the game and if you've been watching transfer news and all that stuff, if you look at Ruben's body language and what he's talking about, and like you can tell that he knows something that we don't know. Either Bruno is already, either they've agreed that Bruno will leave and go to Al Hilal, and they're now discussing which players to bring in, or he genuinely wants to keep Bruno. And if we keep Bruno, what is that going to mean for us? It means that we're not going to get the amount of players that we need to get in for this Premier League season, which is what worries me. My fight or my battle was whether or not we need Bruno. And unfortunately for us, and in as much as I love our Portuguese Magnifico, I think we need to sell him. And I'll tell you why. The reason why I'm saying that we need to, because if we don't sell Bruno, he's going to stay. I think Bruno has got another because he just signed another contract. So he's got like another four years, right? He's 31. This is a gamble. If we keep Bruno and he declines, everybody's going to say that we missed out on opportunity, blah, blah, blah. We should have taken 100 million. We could have done our rebuild. And if we do not perform in the league and we get smacked up and Bruno's there, they're going to be like, what the fuck was Manchester United thinking? And I personally don't think that will happen, because I think Bruno's quality, I don't think I don't think he will want to lose. My only also other issue is, where does he fit into this team? Because we don't want Bruno to be in that pivot, in that midfield pivot. We need people that are specializing there. Bruno is a number 10. And if we are getting Cunha, Mbeumo, we've got Ahmad, we've got Mason Mount, where does Bruno fit in? It means that he has to drop deeper into that pocket, that two midfield. Now we have seen how Bruno performs in that position, in this system. It's not particularly good. It's Bruno in the team doing what Bruno does, but you can tell that there's something missing. There's a gap, because you see Casemiro there sitting by himself. Bruno's all over the pitch trying to do stuff. There's no one there. We thought that Ugarte was going to be there, but now I'm starting to doubt the whole thing about Ugarte, which is weird. I'm waiting to see next season, because next season is a new season. We'll see. We'll see how Ugarte starts and how everything moves in, because when he came in, it was different. He came from the Copa America, was a little bit tired. He picked up a little bit of an injury, I think. I think we signed him when he had an injury. So he had to gradually be fitted in, and it took some time. I don't want that with Ugarte, because I want to understand what the hell is going on with Ugarte. A player of his caliber, hey, he wins balls, blah, blah, blah. He does this, can't play in a final. He can't get regular time. He's playing today, tomorrow, the next game, he's out. Comes on as a substitute, or he doesn't come on at all. That is a mystery. We need to talk about that Ugarte situation. I particularly am just like, what did I miss? What did I miss? Because I know Casemiro got the same treatment from Ruben, where he was not looking his way. And I'm trying to understand, did Ugarte drop in form? Did he drop in his mentality? Why was he now being overlooked? Why all of a sudden Ugarte, the guy that I call the cleaner, because he tidies up everything, he tidies up everybody's mess, all of a sudden can't play in the final? Can someone make that make sense? So this is why it is important. So now Bruno's situation, honestly, we've seen the evidence. He scored 19 goals. He's done the business for us, even the assists. But somehow he doesn't fit. And with his age, it makes sense that we move on. It really does. The amount of money, like if they were trying to come at Bruno with us with 80 or 70, I would have been like, take a hike. Miss me with that nonsense. Do you understand? Like if that was the situation. But that's not the situation. The amount of money that these guys are speaking is crazy. I'm still waiting to find the final figure. I'm still waiting because we know, just based on the Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio, Romano, all these guys, that it's 100 million and above. They are 100 million. What we don't know is the exact number. The exact number that maybe Manchester United will put on Bruno Fernandes's head, or what they're going to negotiate to. But what we know is that it is 100 million. So if it was not 100 million, I don't think we'd be having this discussion. I don't think everybody would be stressed. I don't think so. Because I know we'll be keeping Bruno. We know that Bruno is a maverick. We know he's a superstar. We know he's our guy. And having him in our team, regardless, is a bonus. Because when you look at the Manchester United team that this season, he's the only guy that resurrected and stood out. That stood out and when was counted. I'm talking about with goals and assists. Because without Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United is relegated. Without Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United are having an even tougher season than we are thinking about. Now, these are things that you need to talk about. But we also need to look at the history of what other clubs did. Right? Look at Liverpool. Remember when Philippe Coutinho left Liverpool going to Barcelona? Barcelona spent 100 and something, 103 or 100. It was a lot of money. That money was used to purchase the likes of Salah, the likes of Van Dijk, Alisson, Mane. That money was used to build the core of what became Klopp's heavy metal football team. PSG, we just witnessed them annihilate Inter Milan. You look at that squad, no Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe was there for almost 9 years, maybe 10, even more. I just cannot remember the exact, but he was there for a very long time. Won the PSG League consecutive, I don't know how many times. The one thing that he failed to win was the Champions League. PSG was a team that won the Champions League. They were spending for Champions League. Look at that, just like Real Madrid. They spent on Champions League. They wanted Champions League. And what did they do? They had Neymar, they had Messi, they had Kylian, they had Ugarte at one point, they had Abramovich, Cavani, they had heavy hitters at PSG trying to win the Champions League, and it never worked. Mbappe leaves for one season, and PSG go on to win the treble. The treble. Are you kidding me? Ligue 1, their big FA Cup trophy in France, and the Champions League without Kylian Mbappe. This is similar to that with Bruno. Bruno is our most prolific player, but somehow with him in the team, it almost feels like we cannot develop. And that is not on Bruno. Bruno gave us everything that he could when he could. He gave us some exciting moments, beating Liverpool at home, scoring beautiful bangers, like bangers that we had completely lost. We were so used to bangers Then we went through this draft patch. Then Bruno comes in and then he just takes us all back with the bangers that he was scoring, the football that he was playing, showing us the passion. He was one player that was playing for the badge, he used to leave everything on the pitch. And I know a lot of people used to complain how Bruno moans a lot, blah, blah, blah. But he moans because he cares. He is passionate. And that was what Bruno is all about. And that's why we bought him. And that's exactly why Al Hilal are fighting to get Bruno. Because he has that extra quality. Apart from his footballing skills, he's a leader. He can take the game by the scruff, like by its balls, and just say, look, I'm deciding. And start pinging assists and scoring bangers from no. You'll see Bruno in Al Hilal. He's going to absolutely tear it up that side. He is. And don't be surprised if he starts getting into, because they've got like that history, players, top goal scorer, blah, 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 assists, blah, blah, blah. Don't be surprised if Bruno just immediately is one of the best in Saudi Arabia in those numbers. He will pull those numbers. He's very capable of that. Now, what do we as Manchester United fans say about this whole thing? Now, I personally, I am sad. My heart is breaking for Bruno Fernandes because I love this player. I love Bruno. Bruno has been my magnifico. He has really made life at Manchester United palatable, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes. This period that he's been with us have been amazing because he has put us in amazing situations, amazing. Yes, there were moments where he didn't look like a leader, throwing his hands, where he would just zoom out, like be out of it. But that's normal. Every player has it. Every player goes through that, ups and downs. It's football. They are humans. They're not robots. You know, sometimes you might feel like playing, sometimes you don't. But Bruno is that player that just always feels like playing, always wants to play, never gets injured, and he's always available. So, in essence, we are absolutely losing one of our best players since the Alex Ferguson era. Since all these big guys, Bruno, we are about to lose that player. But at the same time, it is a necessary endeavor. It is necessary for our club because this money, we need it. And the crazy thing about this, it's almost like Al Hilal knew we would need it. Not that they knew per se, but they're like, let's just say Man United don't qualify for Champions League. You know what I'm saying? We can throw this money at them. They can't come at us now and say, nah, because you guys don't qualify, we want Bruno for 80. We will not sell. We will not sell. They need to keep the same energy of like, all right, 100M, we'll break the bank, British, and then we move forward. So that's my interpretation of Bruno Fernandes. I don't want him to go. I really, really don't want him to go. But I love Manchester United more. Manchester United is my club. We need to get used to letting players go. And I can't be, I don't want to use the word hypocrite, but you can use it if you would like. I kept saying that we shouldn't hoard players. I'm very comfortable now. And I'll tell you why, because of Mason Greenwood. The fact that we were very comfortable with letting him go just easy like that, you know, without even fighting for him and the fans turning on him, that for me just made it like, okay, so if we have good players at Manchester United, if the time comes, it's time for us to let them go. So I've sort of built this immune system to like get ready to let certain players go. And because I've been like, Garnacho, go, Rashford, go, all these players go, I can't sit here and say, nah, I don't want Bruno to go for this 100 mil because we need this 100 mil. We absolutely need this money, especially for Ruben, because if we don't get this money for Ruben, Ruben is going to be in trouble. Ruben will be sacked, and then we're going to have to do this whole thing all over again. Because we're going to have to bring a new manager in. Now, the manager that we're going to bring in, I don't know if we're going to bring a manager that uses the 3-4-3 or we're going to use a manager that goes back to the 4-2-3-1, which again is just something that we shouldn't be looking forward to. We shouldn't want that. That is confusion because we moved from that. We've complained about it. Now you bring somebody with a completely new system and then you want to sack him because you've not given him the players to actually implement that. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. That's not right. The next thing that I want to talk about is Matheus Cunha. Here we go. Bruno's about to leave, and then we just sign another Maverick, another Machina into Manchester United. Guys, don't get it twisted. This deal for Matheus Cunha is huge. You remember how I was raving and I kept on bringing up the Euro situation? This is similar. And with Bruno as well. You guys need to get excited. Cunha is the real deal. Cunha is going to have the same effect Bruno had when he arrived at Manchester United, which is why I'm excited. This signing is the real deal. And we need to cherish it. We need to hold on to it. We need to take pride in it. We have Cunha. He's ours, bro. He's already done the medicals. He's our player. He's going to wear the number 10 next season. So you need to get excited about that. The reason why I'm saying you need to get excited about that is because this transfer window is going to be very tricky. It's going to be very techy. It's going to be up and down. You're going to be frustrated. That's just how transfer windows are. And history has proven that for Manchester United. So we are going to be very frustrated in this transfer window. But I need you to remember, while you're being frustrated, understand that we've bought a player who is not looking for Champions League football, who wants to take his footballing career to the next level. And he wants to do it in a big club. And what's the big club? Our club, Manchester United. This player is ours. Do not underestimate it. Do not look down on this deal. Cherish it, enjoy it, because we might not have another Maverick signing like Cunha. Do you understand what I mean? I know we're going to get this money if we sell Bruno. But then teams like to take a piss. You know it. I know it. All United fans know it. If we sell Bruno, the players are going to be put on alert. The clubs are going to be put on alert, and they're going to be like, look, we want this player for, like Mbeumo, for example. I'm giving a hypothetical or an example. We've been linked with Mbeumo. That Mbeumo deal is very, very tricky. I think we'll get that Mbeumo deal through only if we sell Bruno. Right? Now, if we don't sell Bruno, we can't buy these players. Or if we sell Bruno and get the money, these teams, they've been taking pisses. I'm like, hey man, you just got 100M. Mbeumo is 60. We want to pay the 60, like, nah, give us 75. Because we know you guys have 100. That's the piss I'm thinking people are going to take. So it's going to be it's going to be very tough for us to negotiate and do our deals and get things done. But always remember that Cunha is already ours. He's already ready to lead the line. Remember, Cunha is a number 10. He can play as a winger. He can play as a striker. So we've literally bought 3 players in one. And I know with Bruno, once we sell him, we need to replace him because Bruno is 2 people. So I feel comfortable that Bruno is about to leave. And then we've got Cunha. Because Cunha's effect on Wolves was the exact same effect Bruno had on us. So if we lose Bruno, gaining Cunha is almost like we're not going to lose Bruno. Which is why I'm comfortable with it. Which is why we need the maximum amount for Bruno Fernandes so that we can bring in our Ederson from Atalanta, Brian Mbeumo. We can bring either Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen. You know, we need a striker. We need a top quality striker. Rasmus Højlund has had enough. He's had his 2 seasons. I don't know, maybe next season will be a different one. I'm not going to shit down. He's our player. But he's not good enough. And if he's going to play the way he was playing this season, then we definitely need to get in another striker. Wingback situation. We already have Dogu. We've got Diogo Leon coming in who will be there. I don't know if he's going to go straight into the team or not. But as you can see also with the Gaffer, he's brought Amas. You know, he's bringing in players in. We've got Delo still there. We've got Mazraoui still there. So we've got players. And these are players that we need to decide whether we're keeping and letting go. Some players. because we can't have all these wing backs and then, we need also some fresh wing backs, people that are willing to learn, young, fresh talent. So we need that. Our midfield, Casemiro is not going, he can't keep doing that job by himself. This season, the last bit of the season where Casemiro was just an absolute machina, an absolute star, an absolute beast. How long did it take Casemiro to get to that point? You understand what I'm saying? It took him almost half the season to not be in favor, and then like a couple of months later he's in favor. Like, we can't have that. We need Casemiro firing on all cylinders from the get-go. We can't have him trying to get his fitness up during the season. We can't have that. And we know Casemiro needs to play to grease the wheels. You know what I'm saying? He needs to keep on playing to get his fitness. If he doesn't play, he becomes rusty and he becomes bad. So we need players that are just going to be there and available for us all the time. Centre backs. We've just let go of Victor Lindelof, or he's left, and also Johnny Evans. Now, Johnny Evans, it was just a minor contract. It was 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. That wage bill is gone. Victor Lindelof's contract as well, his wage bill is gone. We need to bring in another defender. Mind you, remember Victor Lindelof was very good for us this season. Not very good, but he did a job. Every time other defenders were injured, he was there. So we need more players. We've got De Ligt, we've got Maguire, we've got Yoro, we've got Heaven, we've got Friedrichsen, we've got Monroe, we've got Konki. These are about 7 mixed with seniors and youngsters. But maybe we need quality. I read somewhere a couple of days ago that Manchester United were looking at Bisek for Inter Milan. Unfortunately for us, I don't know if that's going to happen because Bisek picked up an injury during the final. Came on as a substitute, didn't even last. Extended his knee, was out. Now that one, we can't be looking at that. We've been also linked with Gonzalo Inacio from Sporting Lisbon, played under Ruben Amorim. I've talked about Gonzalo Inacio on the Glory Reds like maybe last year or a couple of months, I don't know, but I've spoken about him. A fine defender, fine, not your typical big, scary looking defender, looking tough. Very nice guy, looking like, but he's a brilliant defender, left-footed, amazing. If we can get that guy in, happy days. So what I'm trying to say is this transfer window is going to be a roller coaster. So you need to be prepared for it. And another thing, this Cunha deal, do not look down on it. Don't look at it like a small signing. It is not a small sign. It is huge. We need to take pride in it and going up against people because the fans are going to be coming for us. They are coming for us every day. Manchester United is a team that cannot rest. So every day we're going to be getting bamboozled by people trying to find out what's up. So we need to defend our players. We need to defend what's going on. So Cunha is a big deal. Cunha is a big fucking deal for us, and I'm happy. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy Don Benito. Please don't forget to catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes. We are everywhere. It's your boy Don Benito. Peace.